In this video, we'll be looking at Wells Fargo as our focus brand. To begin, we'll use Brox brand query to ask a quick question about consumer perception of Wells Fargo. Once entered, brand query is analyzing thousands of consumer video interviews to find the relevant insights to our question. Once processed, you have full access to all the videos and transcripts should you want to look at individual responses. Here, we can see that many customers trust Wells Fargo and are satisfied customers. We can click into the first insight and look at specific relevant responses that drove this insight. As mentioned, we can click on the transcripts to view their videos as well. We'll close this insight now by clicking again. We can see that there are some other perceptions among consumers as well. Clearly, there are some consumers who do not trust the brand quite so much, again with viewable videos, and those that think that the brand has a mixed reputation due to past controversies. Brand query will also give you some additional information, like we see here regarding regional variation, strong loyalty despite concerns, and more. While there are some positives here, we want to dig deeper on the concerning aspects of these results. Let's ask a follow-up question now about how Wells Fargo could adjust their messaging to improve consumer perception of their brand. The flexibility of brand query is really on show here, as we are capable of asking broad questions like we did initially, but also able to drill down and answer more specific lines of questioning like this. Now, as our results load, we can see two different avenues. Our first options, rebuilding trust and addressing past issues, indicate consumers need to see that Wells Fargo have acknowledged and addressed past issues to regain that trust. The other avenue we see in the latter insights are more focused on the consumer experience, ensuring the product that they receive and interact with is up to the high standards that they expect. We'll come back to these a little later. Let's focus on this first avenue for now though, and we'll move over to the Brox message testing tool. While we saw that many consumers want to see the brand acknowledge past issues, we need to put this into context and understand how consumers feel about this compared to other messaging directions. So let's offer a couple. Here, to save a little time, we'll copy in 3 different options directly. Our first option is the acknowledge option, confronting past issues and demonstrating transparency about changes made. Our second option is the complete opposite, distancing themselves from past issues and focusing on the current and future consumer priorities rather than lingering on the past. Lastly, we offer a middle ground option, a progressive focus that projects Wells Fargo as the leader in the banking industry's evolution to improve on past issues, gently approaching the issues rather than acknowledging them fully. Now we can hit next and add some context, which again we'll copy in here, offering context about why we're interested in these messages and what they're regarding. Then we can select our audience. In this case, we'll choose the finance audience as it makes the most sense, and we'll choose the age and gender segmentation. But you could easily select any of the others if you prefer. In just seconds, you'll receive instant feedback on your messaging concepts, whichever stage you're in, be it looking at the broader areas to focus on, like we're doing here, or specific features, or even between those final messaging copy options. The tool itself is drawing from the Brox shadow panel, a group of thousands of panelists, each of which Brox has an incredible depth of video data that allows us to accurately predict each individual's answer to any research question. What we can see is that acknowledging the issue is clearly the preferred messaging route for consumers, while women over 30 are more open to the progressive focus. We can look further into each demo to see a massive breakdown of why that choice was made and an array of further follow-up questions that you might be considering asking, already asked for you. Additionally, the overall summary and more can be found below in these demo breakdowns. The results are also reflected in the quantitative data. Here we can see that addressing the issue again is the clear favourite and distancing themselves is not appreciated at all by consumers. We also asked the shadow panel a couple more questions to get a little bit more insight. Going back to our second brand query question to find out which of those consumer experience elements were favoured, finding security measures to be the most important of the 3. Lastly, we followed up our message testing quant to find out what proportion of consumers would actually be moved by Wells Fargo addressing the issues, and finding that nearly half of them would have their brand perception improved off the back of it. And there you have it. If you want to see how your brand and your personal workflow could benefit from Brox, get in touch and book a demo today.